Hey everyone, back as promised. Walking Man Walks. Monday morning here in the Philippines. Sunday night in the West. Back with another workout and bullshit session. So join the fray if you'd like. We'll start with pull-ups. Pull up our setup here. Okay. Person in the mix. Let's walk. Not walking today, unfortunately. It's the wrong time of day to walk here. How you doing? Welcome back. 420. What is it? Cheech and Chong 420. Cheech and Chong. Me and my friend used to watch that shit when we were kids. Thought it was hilarious. We sit around smoking weed all day at 14 years old. Yeah, we started young back then in New York. The weed back then, of course, was pretty shitty. Like button, it's free and sub. Yeah. Hit the like button, it's free and sub. Thanks, Cheech and Chong. Okay, just started doing pull-ups again. My sets are small, but I was doing sets of 10, 8, and like 5. Now, my first set was 5. Lay off him for a few months, that's for sure. Alright, 3 people. Thanks for the like. Let me set a gift goal here. How's everybody doing today? Chime in. It's about 8:30 in the morning here in the Philippines. Just got back from a trip up north a little ways into the mountains. Did some whitewater kayak on a little river I found up there that I've been scoping out. Look for my video for that coming out sometime this week. I have to edit it and all that good stuff. If you guys are new, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm at about, 2,700 subscribers. Going for 1 million. So I could retire and just do my YouTube channel. It's kind of a pipe. Just talking into it. Being able to live off of it. Doubt it'll ever happen, but I certainly enjoy my workout chats. Kind of motivates me to keep working. Okay, 2 sets of 5 so far. Let's see what we got left in the tank. Exercise, I think. When I was 16, I won the pull-up contest at my high school. That's when we had that was the 80s. When we had the presidential fitness test every year. I don't think they do it anymore. I think Trump and his cronies are trying to reinstate it, which is cool, but most kids hated it. I liked it, but just because I was good at it. Anyway, I won with I think 12 pull-ups, which wasn't very many, but you know, at 16, most kids can't do 2, so okay. Done with pull-ups. I'm gonna work some legs now, some kettlebell squats. Anybody new? 31 people. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you for watching. Give a gift if you feel so inclined. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice deep squat. Once you get over 50, you gotta keep your legs under you. My grandfather used to say to me, he was 60 or so when I was born. He used to say, he had a heavy Italian accent. He would say, Cruz, the legs are the first thing to go. And as I started to get older, before I started working out again, I realized he was right. Legs are the first thing to go. Keep your legs strong. It's definitely will help you, get through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, who knows. Walking upright. Not like so many elderly you see from various reasons, not doing anything but working at a computer or whatever. They're like hunched over, walking with a cane. A lot of guys, it's from a lifetime of physical labor, which I've done mostly. I've worked in every trade possible. I had people on here tell me that I didn't know what hard work was a couple weeks ago. I started working as 14 years old out of necessity because my mom told me, I had a single mother with 5 kids. She told me at 14, she said, if you want clothes for school, which was like the thing back then, probably is now too. You want new clothes in the fall to look good for all the girls. She's like, you're gonna have to get a job because I don't have any money to do it. So at 14, back then, in the 80s, to work that young, I don't know if you still do now in the US, but you had to get a special work permit. And I did. I got a youth work permit, and I was able to work all summer full-time as a groundskeeper at the very school that I went to. And I met a lot of cool guys, hard working. Back then, a groundskeeper for a high school was probably a middle class occupation. Not anymore, but and there was a group of us my age. What pool, Brother Walker? Are you just razzing me? One of those trolls sitting on your couch. Okay, next set. So anyway, from that groundkeeper job, I've been working ever since. 40 years later, I'm still working, but I've worked so many different occupations, from foundations to roofing to teacher, traveling teacher. My favorite guy streamer. Oh, thank you, Katana. I was up in the mountains all weekend kayaking, hiking around, visiting some family, extended family. My legs are already tired starting. John, handsome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Subscribe. Going for that 1,000,000 subscribers. I figure an idiot like Joe Rogan could have 1,000,000 subscribers. Why can't I? I'm manifesting 1,000,000 subscribers. Legs are pretty beat today. So I'm going to do deadlifts next. It's Monday morning here in the Philippines. The highway in front of the house is busy. But my neighbors are out there yelling at each other. Probably just talking shit though. There's a lot of chismosa in the Philippines. You know that term? That means gossip. They all talk about me, the American guy on the block. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe. Hook me up. I'm manifesting 1,000,000 subscribers. And by manifesting, I mean asking people to subscribe. Okay, deadlifts. Every time I do these, I think I should get a box to stand up so I get a better stretch, but I never do. How do you cure dry feet? I don't know. No, that's not true. I used to raft guide in Colorado in college. I had dry feet, like all cracked and stuff. We put the same stuff they use for the same balm they use for horses' noses. We put on the bottom of our feet. That pretty much cured it. Jock itch. That's a fungus jock itch. I used to get it when I played football in high school. I know you guys are joking, but it's no joke. Make sure you get some fungal cream, because it doesn't go away on its own. 3 people still. No gifts yet? What's up with that? Okay, guys. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share. Okay, set. Okay, next push-ups. Oh, I gotta clean my mats, they're dirty. Constantly have laundry all over the place here. And my fiance does the laundry and just leaves it everywhere. Everybody's got their faults, I guess. Okay, first set of push-ups. Clean those mats today. Welcome back, everybody. Subscribe, like, share. Thanks for watching. So as I was saying, I started working as a kid at like 14. Somebody on here said I don't know what hard work is. I think that was projection. You know, projection is when you accuse somebody of something that you're probably guilty of. Watch Donald Trump, he does it every day. Accuses the Democrats of stealing elections, and he's the one always trying to steal elections. Not that this is a political channel. I know some of you guys like it when I get political, but I try to keep politics out of it. It's about life, love, working out. Keep on, keep it on. You guys know that one? Jerry Jeff Walker? Look him up. No more questions, just 2 of you left. What do we got? No gifts yet? I got 10 gifts in 1 minute last week. I guess sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Born to Lose, you know, Social Distortion song. You remember Social Distortion? from the 90s. Born to lose was what they said. You know I'm better off dead. Great band anyway, great song. I play it, but I'll get copyright infringed. Even by a cool band like them. Still the same comments hanging there. Huh. I probably started a little early today. But, you know. It is what it is. So anyway, I started working at 14 years old. Groundskeeper at the very school I went to, which, as you can imagine, led to a lot of teasing by the other kids. You know, especially because I grew up poor. A lot of kids, and I could relate with kids these days with that, you know, and especially when I was a high school teacher. But, you know, I didn't grow up in a poor neighborhood. I grew up in a blue-collar neighborhood, being the poorest family in my neighborhood, just a parent, you know, a single mother of 5 kids. Other kids make fun of you. That's just what kids do, you know. So I had to learn how to protect myself, you know, verbally and physically at a young age. But I also started working at a really young age, and kids even make fun of you for that. So my first job was a groundskeeper, and then my second job was probably a Taco Bell, which sounds funny. You know, it sounds like a funny job, but if you ever seen those like 80s fast food movies, that's not like too far from the reality of working at a Taco Bell back in the 80s. I mean, it's probably the funnest job I ever had. The manager was 21. I was 16, you know, and everybody else was basically in between those two ages. So we did all kinds of crazy shit at that Taco Bell. I mean, crazy stuff. I mean, now that I think back, stupid, crazy stuff like you do when you're a kid. You know, we drank, we partied, we played pranks, we fell in love, we had sex, you know, we stole stuff, we did all kinds of crazy stuff back then, all working at a Taco Bell. Or the Taco Bell closed at 2 in the morning. I grew up on Long Island. That's right. The Taco Bell would close at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'd had all our friends in for a party, beer, liquor, making tacos all night, you know, till the sun came up. Yeah, I was 16 years old at the time. Like I said, the manager was 21, Sal. I'll never forget Sal. He drove a little piece of shit Chevy car. Yeah, I love that guy. I fell in love with the girl, Kelly Patwell, who worked there with me. I'll never forget her. She had a boyfriend from another school who I was constantly trying to talk her into breaking up with him. Those were the days. But these are the days too. You gotta enjoy your life, you know? So that was my second job, and I think I only worked there a year. It's hard to remember now. It's almost 40 years later, really. Worked there about a year. I bought a moped because it was 5 miles from where I lived. My family didn't have a car or anything, so I either had to walk, take the bus, hitchhike, and it wasn't a direct route on the bus to get to Taco Bell, and a lot of times I had to go after school. I would work after school like 4 in the afternoon until like 2 in the morning. And, besides having a lot of fun there, they also needed the money, so. But I learned how to work. I learned how to, do stuff people normally don't want to do. Wash dishes for 8 hours, fry taco shells, cook refried beans in giant pressure cookers like this, I mean, I did everything there, basically. Worked the checkout, selling food and all that. But yeah, I bought a moped, I don't even know what size it was, a Honda moped. The kids made fun of me for that too. But by that time, I was already, working out and stuff, so not too many people made fun of me because they didn't want to get punched in the face. Not that I was super violent, but, where I grew up, if you picked on somebody, that's probably anywhere actually, you had to be ready to get punched in the face, That's kind of what happens when you start picking at somebody. You ready for some head? Reganda. I don't know, you're a boy or a girl? You're the only person watching right now, I guess. Okay, so moving on with the workout. So that was my second job, Taco Bell. Third job, Radio Shack. You all remember Radio Shacks? It's probably when the Apple computer first started coming out. I was kind of into electronics, so I got a job at a Radio Shack. And that didn't last that long because it was sales based and nobody bought anything there. Can you shout out my buddy? It's his birthday. His name is Nick Gurr. No, I won't use a profanity, but I will put you on a 24-hour timeout if you want to come back. Feel free, but don't think I'm stupid or something. I mean, stupid people often think of people stupid. Some people are stupid. Well, I can't blame you too much. When I was 12, is that how old you are? I used to do prank calls all the time. We didn't have the internet then, so we just did prank calls. Let me see, look. We used to call people up and say, hey, is your refrigerator running? And they'd be like, yeah. And we'd be like, you better catch it before it gets away. That's a pretty innocent prank call, but we thought it was fun. Okay, moving on. Kettlebell twists. I hate this exercise, but last time I did it, I felt it in my waist for a week, so. To do it under control. Oh, crap, back crap. Do it out of control, you can really hurt yourself. Hey, without hot out this morning in the Philippines. So yeah, my third job, Radio Shack sales. And I worked in between with my brother, and I still think about this. My brother had a painting business in Brooklyn, and he would do fire jobs, like buildings that had been burned down. And my job was like to clean the soot off the walls. And back then, we didn't wear a mask or anything. I remember coming home from work those days. You know, basically I worked for him on weekends at his painting business, which was kind of a half-assed painting business because he was a drug addict, so that never lasted long. But I would clean the soot off the walls, come back from work that day and just be coughing up black soot all day, all night. And yeah, I realize now that probably shortened my life, but I don't know. My lungs are fine now. I don't smoke or anything, but I think about now. Talk about like the fires in LA and all the stuff that was burned, how toxic all the stuff that's left over now is. But I try not to think about it, you know. Every life has to end sooner or later. Some sooner rather than later. I'm pretty lucky I lived this long, you know, but I just had a baby in September, so not me personally, but my fiance. And I'd like to live long enough to see her grow up, you know, and be able to take care of her and support her. So yeah, I worry about stuff in my past that might have shortened my life. Crazy jobs I had where PPE wasn't a consideration. Like a job like that, like nobody cared. You know, kind of like a coal miner job back in the day. Nobody cared if you breathed in coal dust all day. They were just worried about making money. If you're new, subscribe, share, follow. You get my other videos. I'm living here in the Philippines. Walking Man Walks in the Philippines. I just made a video this weekend on, I went up and found this river I've been scoping out to whitewater kayak, and I got on it. It was kind of low water, but the video should be pretty interesting if you've never seen what's the mountains of the Philippines are like, if you're into that kind of stuff. You know, and then I have a whole bunch of videos on my channel you could check out, like not lives, like pre-recorded videos of dating here in the Philippines, traveling, you know, Malaysia, Thailand, other places I've been in Southeast Asia. So go ahead, sign up, subscribe. Back to my work history. Radio Shack, my third regular job, my fourth, like I said, my brother had a painting business. I worked with him, you know, just as a laborer. Learned how to paint fast, basically. And then, what was my next job? So long ago. I probably had 100 jobs in my half a century of life. Yeah, I wasn't one of those kids who grew up in a family where it was like, oh, you're 17, you got your driver's license, here's a car. Everything in my family was a struggle, you know? Single mom, 5 kids. You're 17, you got your driver's license, you want a car, get a job. You want clothes for school, get a job. I was paying rent at 14 or 15 years old to my mother, and not that I minded. Well, I might have minded at the time, but you know, $100 a month, which isn't much, but back then, for a kid making you know, I went to high school and worked 30 or 40 hours a week and probably made $200 a week. I don't think any kid really these days can relate with that. Now you can just get on the internet and make money. Back then, the only way for a kid in high school to make money was to get a job, like using your body. But you know, a lot of kids, this is what people don't understand about wealth inequality. When you start out and you're given college money and a car and a place to live, you don't have to be rich to get that, but just well off. That's a huge advantage in life, in later life. I don't think a lot of people understand how much of an advantage that really is. Like everything, everything you don't get from your parents, like if you're me and you're brought up and you have nothing, you have to either borrow or work for it. So I never borrowed money for a car, but except for my second car I ever got. I really wanted this RX-7, which I love this car. You know, it was $3,500, which was a ton of money back then. You know, it was my last year of high school, I think. It was already my third car because the cars I bought with cash were junkers. Hey Ben, how are you? We replace you, YouTube boy. Okay. YouTube boy, YouTube boy. What does that mean? Took you country? What are you, Russian or something? Who you calling a boy? You wouldn't say that to my face. I know you wouldn't. Because you're a coward. An internet coward. Yeah. Just another internet coward. There are plenty of them out there. Little white. Off-road boy, how are you? So anyway, back to jobs I had. Yeah, so Radio Shack, 16 or 17. You know, so groundskeeper in my high school, 14 years old. 16 years old, Taco Bell. 17 years old, Radio Shack. And then working on weekends with my brother at his painting business. And when I turned 18 and graduated high school, I couldn't afford to go to college right away, so I got a job driving a truck. And I lied about having a commercial driver's license. This guy, Malio Kinsella, that was hilarious. Total mafia team skill, you know. Lindenhurst, New York. So this was, I grew up in, you know, just in Nassau County, just outside of Queens in New York. And Lindenhurst was out further on the island, like an hour further. So this job I had, I lied to the guy about being able to drive a truck. I mean, I had a car, I knew how to drive a car, I knew how to drive a stick. My car was a stick, you know, a manual. And this guy was a really Italian guy, and I came from a half Italian family. You know, so he was like, yo, Chris, he's like, you got a commercial driver's license? You know, this is our interview, this is how he talked. I'm like, yeah, I got a commercial driver's license. He's like, well, let's show it to me. And I was like, oh, I forgot I left it at home. And he bought this line of bullshit that I left at home. He's like, well, I'll tell you what then, go out with our guy, Vinny, and you drive the truck. And it was one of those, it was a 24-foot Mercedes freezer truck, I'll never forget. He's like, if you show him you can drive the truck, you got the job. I'd never driven a truck like that before in my life. I go out there, I get in the truck, I'm like, all right, it's got this many gears, I don't remember, like 6 gears or something like that. You know, it wasn't an 18-wheel, it was a 24-foot freezer truck, so it's a solid body, not one that turns in the center. But driving around New York, and I get in the thing, I put it in first gear, it's like sputtering. He's like, and the guy Vinny looks at me, he's like, so you're a little rusty, huh? I'm 18 years old, and I'm a little rusty. I get in, I drive a couple blocks, it's like driving a really big car. I drive back to the shop, and Mally was like, Vinny said you're a little rusty, but it seems like you know what you're doing. He's like, you got the job. It pays $10 an hour and 2% of everything you deliver. Cash. And this is a total mafia run place, And he's like, you start Monday. He's like, be here at 6 a.m. It's an hour from my house. But to me then, I had like some credit card debt I needed to get out from under and stuff, and I was like, I gotta take this job. So the job was delivering bulk ice cream, like Fruzen Glacier and Steve's ice cream. Steve's is basically like Ben and Jerry's. It was like their competition at the time. Those big 5-gallon buckets of it, the round ones you see in restaurants. So I delivered, I had the worst route because I was the youngest, newest guy. So I delivered to like every Chinese restaurant in the 5 boroughs. So I get there at 6 in the morning, Lindenhurst. This is the first summer after high school. Get there at 6 in the morning in Lindenhurst. Get the truck, load it up. We had this giant freezer building. It was a warehouse that was a freezer because there's all ice cream inside. Oh, I also delivered Dove bars, but mostly the big things of ice cream. And I would take, I'd back the truck up to the freezer house. The workers there would load it up. I'd help them load it up. 7 o'clock or something like that. I started at 6. I was on the road on the way. I'd get back to the yard at 7, 8, 9 at night, depending on how many deliveries. If I had 15 deliveries in a day, I was getting home at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock that night. That's how much I worked at this job. But it was the craziest job. I remember it only had an AM radio in the truck, so all day I listened to, AM. I listened to a lot of Mets baseball games, a lot of sports, but a lot of AM music, which was Brown Eyed Girl and just classic rock and stuff like that, and drive around all day and got into all kinds of crazy situations driving around. I delivered in Harlem, Chinatown, the Bronx. Some days I would get right out of the gate and be stuck in traffic for 2 or 3 hours. I remember one day I was really hungover. I was right after high school. I had a girlfriend, so I'd work till 8 or 9 o'clock at night and then go out with my girlfriend. And I was so hungover this time. There was so much traffic. I had to pull over to the side in the grass on the Long Island Expressway and just sleep for 2 hours before I could start working. Okay, shoulder work. Anyway, I have many stories about that job. I'll try and tell them as I remember them. One person still watching. I guess my story is still boring. It's a YT boy. Took your country. What's your problem? Took your country, huh? You got mama issues or what? Where are you from? Tell me something about yourself. Maybe I can help you with your issues. I'm gonna have empathy for you. I know your mama never gave you any love there. Took you country, but I'm gonna give you some love and have some empathy for you. Oh, was that a little too close to home? No comment yet, huh? Took you country? Yeah, that's what I thought. Just 2 people on now? Go ahead and like and subscribe if not took you country. So anybody have any questions for me? I'm telling my story here. Telling all my jobs I've had in the past. Any questions? I've got 50 some odd years of experience in this life. I've made it this far. If you need any advice, just ask. I came from a poor, broken home. My father left when I was 2 years old. Never called us again. Just went out to the store and never came back. I managed to become a functional member of society anyway. Never really, well, I broke some laws, but not any serious ones. I definitely know the struggle and what the struggle is. No question? Okay. So whatever you do, don't go to guys like Joe Rogan or answers who grew up privileged with wealth. His dad was an architect. You know, never had a struggle for anything in his whole life. Started acting at like 18. He's been a millionaire since his 20s. Don't take advice from people like that. Buys into every conspiracy theory here. When I was around 39, I worked with a couple young guys as a teacher. Good friends of mine, great guys. They were in their 20s, but they were like, 24 and 23, I think they were. We worked for a traveling kayak high school where we went around, coached kayaking. I taught science. One of them taught Spanish, and the other one was just a kayaking coach because he was an exceptional kayaker. I mean, whitewater kayaking. It's a really niche school, but those guys were always like, we'd go on long road trips with the kids and stuff, driving vans for days sometimes. And they'd be like, let's listen to Joe Rogan. We love Joe Rogan. I'd be like, this guy doesn't know shit. What are you listening to this guy for? But, look where we're at now. People listen to him on who to vote for. Now we have Nazis running the U.S. Joe Rogan was just trying to protect his wealth. That's all him and Theo Vaughn and all those rich boys with their podcasts. Theo Vaughn, another one who grew up in great privilege. Don't let him fool you. I'm gonna toss your salad, little man. Okay. I suspect you can't toss shit, and if you were here face to face with me, you'd be the one that get tossed. You're just a little pussy bitch, I think. And now you're on a 24-hour timeout. Do you even know what tossing salad means? It means eating ass. You want to eat my ass? I mean, that's kind of a win for me, isn't it? Wouldn't it be embarrassing for you if you got your ass kicked by an old man? I'm sure what would happen. Little keyboard warriors. Sorry, folks. Only one left watching. Only got a couple exercises left and then I'm out anyway. 0 watching. Oh, the salad tosser left? Too bad. So anyway, where were we? I had my job driving the truck with the mafia in New York. My boss, Malio Kinsella, I'm sure I could say his name, he's long dead. Deep into the mafia. I got paid cash on that job. Never got my commercial driver's license. But did drive a commercial truck in the 5 boroughs for about 3 months, and then my girlfriend at the time, who I was completely in love with, she was like voted hottest girl in my high school. I was more in lust with her, but I loved her too. We dated for 4 years actually. She made me quit the job because I worked like 15 hours a day, and even though I was flush with cash, she didn't like that I was working for the mafia. She didn't like that, I worked 15 hours a day and didn't spend any time with her. A 17-year-old girl. I was 18 at the time. Hey, if you guys are new, go ahead and subscribe, like, follow. I'm on my last set here. So my next live cast will be in 2 more days. I'm going for 1 million followers. I got 2,700 so far. I'm on my way. One person left. What happened? I scared you all off? Is it like 9 o'clock now? $9:30. Go ahead, one person that's left, subscribe, like, share with your friends, follow, get a gift, get a membership, even better, get on my Buy Me a Coffee if you want to help out the channel. Well, I'm not really homeless, but I've been homeless in the past. When I was a whitewater raft guide, I lived in a I lived in a car for about a year, a Honda Civic, which try pulling that off, and then I bought a van. I lived in a van for a couple years, but I know you're trying to take a jab at me, so you know I'm pretty thick-skinned. I'm not a little girl like you, so and subscribe if you want to take jabs at me. I'm here for it. There's nothing you can say to me that somebody hasn't said in the past. That's what you little boys will never understand. Little internet troll boys sitting on their mom's couch in the basement eating potato chips. What, no follow-up comment? I scared you off already? Figured. Little pussy bitches. One more set. One person that's watching. Oh, 4 people. One more set for biceps and then I'm out of here. Oh, we got a new comment. Joe Nichols, how's it going, man? Yeah, I remember you. Remember the country singer. How you doing, Joe? Only got 1 set left. Sorry, I started a little early today. Joe. Sorry you came so late. I've been on an hour already. Your cousin died. That sucks. My cousin died last year. He was 55 or something. We're roughly the same age. Kidney cancer. Came on. He got diagnosed. 2 weeks later, he was dead. That's why you gotta live for today, my man. 19, shit. I lost my best friend Marco Colella at 19. Or Marco Colella's another guy. Oh, so long ago. Marco. His name was he was a Puerto Rican kid. Corvana, or I can't remember right now. Under pressure. But anyway, he was 19. My best friend died in a car accident right in front of our high school. It was tragic. How did he die? Was it an accident? Must have been some kind of accident, right? At 19. Well, Joe, I gotta end this now, but you hang in there, my man. I learned, and not as a young guy like you, but I learned at a young age, pretty young age, that death is part of life, and the older you get, the more people you see die, unfortunately. I watched my mother die in a hospital bed in 2021 during COVID. I mean, she was old, but yeah. What's MHM? I don't know. As I was saying, man, the longer you live, unfortunately, the more people that are close to you see die. Damn, sorry. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm old. I'm in my 50s, so, I mean, the older you get, the more people you see die. And, besides my buddy Marco, when I was 19, I was pretty lucky for a long time. Nobody in my family died. And then as I got in my 30s, my brother died. Well, he was a drug addict and had various issues. And then, my grandparents both went relatively close to each other in my 30s. And then after that, friends, every time I opened Facebook, I just found out yesterday another dear friend of mine that I used to ski patrol with. We weren't in touch. We talked a few years ago, but he died of, suddenly of a heart attack this year. One of my best friends in the world died of lung cancer this year. He was 55, I guess 50s is when it's kind of like a hurdle age, you're either gonna keep going or something's gonna get you. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, Joe, hang in there. Sorry about your cousin, and I'll be back in 2 days with another live. I hope you tune in, subscribe, and you guys have a good one.